I don't know where to find your timer. Stopwatch and timer. Found it.
Bah, bah, bah.
You can buy Plus.
Yeah, I don't.
They have a Plus version of stopwatches and timers.
I don't know how much better it could be. This is pretty fancy.
I know this is
like good. I mean,
lots of animations. I don't know. I don't know how you grow up from there. Okay, here we go. Boom. Perfect. Like a TED Talk. Hi friends, I hope you're having a lovely day today. We are back for another time of talking about lovely street photography related
photos,
things.
stuff.
That hopefully have value, bring value to the people who watch. That's the goal, right?
Yeah.
Is that what we're doing?
I don't know. I just show up and do this.
That's my goal. Hopefully we can do that. Today we're going to talk about details, like focusing on the details when you walk up to somebody to take their photo.
The nitty gritty.
The nitty gritty. I find that you can get some incredible photos out of focusing on the details. And a lot of times you try to move really fast. You're walking around. You see the person, and you're like you miss the fact that they have a little turtle on their boot. Attached to their boot.
A living turtle?
A living turtle.
Like they have a little turtle collar and it's like riding on the end of their boot.
Yes.
Now that's a story.
A boot collar?
Like a little collar around its neck so it doesn't
fall
off.
The turtle
yeah, and then
has...
it's got like a little
so
leash.
The turtle's hanging from the boot on his...
No, it's got a
neck.
leash. It's got a leash.
Oh, he's walking.
No. He's too slow. So he's sitting on the top of the boot.
Oh.
But he's got a leash in case he falls off of the boot.
In case he falls and it catches him by the neck.
Yes. And he's fine.
And he's fine. That's cool. So, anyway. Yeah, turtles, right? Maybe there's a story behind that turtle. You don't know. Maybe that was his father's turtle.
Maybe there doesn't even need to be a story when there's a turtle riding
That's
on
true.
someone's
That's kind of a story on its own.
That's pretty strong.
That's
I haven't gotten to that. I haven't gotten that shot yet.
Yeah.
I'm working towards it.
Yeah. So, I want to talk a little bit about why it's good to capture details. Why that's a great thing. I want to share a story about how I paid attention to a detail and asked about a detail, and then we're just going to talk about all the details. So we'll talk about a photo that you got recently where the details were something that did matter. I mean, you're glad you paid attention to the details.
Yeah, I mean, I think that branches out of a lot of my work because it's fashion oriented. It's more how people are dressed. So I think it's like a lot of what I'm looking for already are these small details, whether or not like I'm zooming in close and I'm getting on this detail. Like in my mind, there's this idea of a detail, right? There's an idea of like, I see this thing and I'm like, okay, this certain part of this, be it even like a detail being like the silhouette or like someone's rings. Like not long ago, I had a picture, this girl just had all these ridiculous rings like everywhere. One was like connected here and then went up to a bracelet over here. Another one was like a ring connected to another ring.
Yeah.
It was crazy. But, it's like that kind of shot, I think, is more of like the literal idea of a detail, right? Where it's like a close-up and, you think about your angle because that's important. You think about like your depth of field because when you get that close, there's some adjustments you need to make. But, those type of details, can have like a big story element. But for me, my details are more like if someone has a crazy mohawk, right? Like I want to accentuate that, so I want to shoot them at an angle where there's
like Frodo's photo,
right? Like something intense, right? Like
yes.
I want to have that be a focal point. I don't want to like say you've got a crazy like afro, but I put you against and you have black hair, and I put you against a black backdrop, and it like kind of dissipates. So I think it's like the details aren't necessarily even also the obvious idea of getting in
details
close.
Of how you shoot.
I think it's even like the detail of like if you see a detail and you're doing a full length portrait of someone, it's still focusing on like there's still I think a detail sometimes like maybe you want to capture a whole person, but there's something that really sticks out to you.
Yes.
And I think you need to highlight that. So I think it's kind of a twofold thing. So
yes.
I guess that's kind of my perspective on it. And then I think James can really focus in a little bit more with his experience on a recent photo of kind of how you can just get in on a detail, like get in close. Like you gotta get
yes.
like you gotta get
See,
like
this
close.
Is where I'm,
like this is where you gotta get close. You gotta get close.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you're gonna be like this. You're gonna be just like this. You're gonna be like, make sure I don't hit you in the eye.
You said you were taking a photo of my necklace. What? I don't understand.
You got to get that close sometimes.
Yeah.
So James is going to touch a little bit on getting close with your subject.
It's important that they don't have a restraining order against you. I think that's the first thing to consider always. But like sometimes it is good to get in really close. And I think we do get scared of that. I think we're scared that people are going to feel a little uncomfortable with that. But I think once you've crossed the threshold of actually putting a camera in their face anyway, it doesn't matter how close they get to you. I think you're good.
Yeah, no.
As long as you're not like touching.
As long as the lens isn't physically touching them.
I really don't think there's more uncomfortability. I may be wrong. I don't know. I'm pretty open when it comes to having any kind of photo taken of me, but I feel like that's not something you have to worry about.
No, I don't know what kind of photo you'd be taking if the lens was on someone.
Awkward silence.
That's what'll happen if you put your camera up on somebody like that.
Yeah. Awkward silence?
Yeah, I think they'll just like it depends on the person. Like some people are like, get away
what if
from
you
me.
like stick it in their face
like,
and then you don't say anything, you don't take a picture, you just hold it there as long as possible.
What if you have like a zoom that extends out to and you're like, ooh, and it's like
extremely awkward.
Don't do that to people.
Okay, so yeah, I took a picture recently. I don't know if we touched on that yet. I took a picture of somebody who had a key around her neck. At first, I was walking up and I just wanted. She had a lovely sense of fashion, and I walked up to her and I said, "Hey, you have a lovely sense of fashion. Can I take a photo of you over by this wall?" She was super nice. And as I was taking my photo of her, I noticed she had a key around her neck, kind of like this. This isn't a key.
Could be a fob though. It could be one of those key fobs. Those fancy ones where you're
like,
boop, boop.
Yep. Send my helicopter, and then comes down. I grab a rope and it picks me up.
I think that's like a transponder. I don't think that's a key fob.
Helicopter. Oh no, I'm not talking to it. It says that when I push the button.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, there's
Lord.
a key.
Dear Lord.
There was
Will.
a key.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So there was a key. There was a key on a necklace, and I saw that key, and I thought, oh, that's a nice detail. Tell me about your key. I like your key necklace. And I asked her. I don't remember all the details, but I asked her about her key necklace, and she said that it was her mother's key necklace. Or not key necklace. It was her mother's key. She had it in one of her jewelry boxes. And she told me that her mother recently passed away. Or no, she didn't say it was recent. She just said just randomly passed away, unknown reason, nobody knows why. And so that key was hers, so she wears it around her neck. And so it was like this was this really powerful story that I'm so glad I asked about the key. I'm so glad that I noticed it and I asked about it. I took the time to pay attention to all the little details of and asked about it. So what that is driving me to do now is I want to get in the habit of focusing on the details when I walk up to somebody. Look at these little things about them and say, okay, how can I focus on that detail? What can I ask them about that detail? How, just being intentional, right?
Well, and I think the interesting thing about that is, right, we often talk about street portraiture instead of like candid street photography, things like that here. But I think it's interesting because it's also a very distinct way you can approach your candid street photography too. Mm-hmm. Because I think, we see all of these, very similar shots, right? But it's like, if you can focus in on those details, I think, even though you won't, know the backstory of the object, I think like certain things will hearken you to, she's wearing a key. So it's like a lot of people don't have just like a key, it was just kind of like a key, it wasn't like some ornate skeleton key thing. Right. It's just a key. Right. So it's like, I think just focusing in on that in any genre, not just feeling like, okay, well, y'all do street photography, street portraiture, so you guys, are interacting with them. Mm-hmm. I think it's like an important detail in any aspect of street photography in any genre.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that could even lean into taking pictures of people. I think of another picture I took where it was just I'm gonna go another direction with this. Same kind of picture, but it was even better. There was in my hometown. Is a big like horse town, right? So like that's the thing. You come to my town, there's horses everywhere, and you're expected to know how to ride a horse. I've never ridden a horse in my life. I I have no correlation with horses at all, except when I see them on a fence, I try to pet their nose a little bit because it's fun. But they're scary.
They got the soft
they're
lips.
big.
You don't want to let them bite you. They have pretty good teeth.
Yeah.
You gotta like either palm. This is important, viewers. When petting a horse, get your palm really flat so it can't bite you, or kind of get some fist action in there.
Okay.
Fist that horse.
Fist. Whoa. All right.
Fist that horse.
Moving on immediately. Next.
So you live in a horse town.
So yeah, I live in a horse town. There's a guy with these socks, these jock socks. They were really colorful. And I went to take his photo, and I decided I just literally wanted to take a photo from like just above the knees down. And I love photos I take that end up like that because it leaves so much mystery almost. But it's like, okay, this guy's, he's maybe a jockey or whatever, but there's like this weird mystery about what's actually going on in the photo.
Right. Well, there's a removal of more context, right?
Right.
The less context you have, and that's what details do.
Right.
The less context, the more anonymous the person is, the more I think sometimes the viewer can build their own story and their own complete visual image to their imagination because everything's on the scene. Granted, you never have everything in a scene, but when you really get in close, I think it really changes that context for people.
So imagine if I were to dig into that guy's story more.
Right.
And I learned that, and there was this big, large, kind of really amazing context around why he does what he does, why he loves it, whatever. My dad was this, and there's imagine if you were somebody, a Humans of New York or something like that. You dig into that story and then use that photo as the cover for that story. That could be compelling. I think that could be really compelling. But I think we get into a place where we're trying to move so fast that we don't focus on the details. So I think that's why it's important to beforehand say to yourself, okay, I am going to get in the habit. I'm going to get in the mental habit of when I run into this person, doing a quick, you have to make it weird, like,
Turn around for me now.
Turn around. Want to look at your details, girl. The guy's like, bro, I don't want to do that.
And you're like, bro, turn around.
Bro, turn around.
Turn around right now. Go down that dark alleyway and turn around and close your eyes.
I gotta see your details. Woo! All right. So, no, quick glance down and up and down the person, and you can pick out these little things and train yourself to find these little details that might have stories behind them, or just be able to push yourself to ask about those details. Figure out how you can ask about like I think that thing is really. Don't be afraid to say, "Oh, that necklace is really interesting. Can you tell me about it?" There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
I think that just goes along with the whole idea of in order to capture details, you're gonna have to be more intentional and spend more time with the subject and build habits. Because in street photography and in street portraiture, everything's about having things just be routine that you always do, because the interactions are just too quick.
Yes.
In general, for you to be oh, I forgot. You just forget to do it most of the time. You'll do it sometimes, but you won't have that consistency because every exchange is a little bit different and they all happen relatively quickly. So you can't just bank on you happening to think about it in the moment. It needs to be you need to be like a robot.
Yes.
In that regard.
Very true. And I think that there's some level of you can layer spontaneity on top of that routine.
Yes.
But you're not going to make way for that spontaneity to come about if the routine is not your backbone.
Absolutely, because you'll just keep coming home without the detail shot.
Yeah, and it won't. You won't be able to. What's the word? You won't be able to find. Yeah, every time you go to take the photo, if you're not establishing a routine, it's going to be every single time is going to be kind of different, and you're not going to say you're not going to say what you need to say in that moment, and you're not going to routines are good. That was all I'm trying to say. I don't know where to go with that. Moment. you get lost in the moment.
Yeah,
you're trying to
like,
make
you're
everything
trying
work,
to-
and it's crazy and doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know,
just
so if
trying
you
to.
can have a routine to lean yourself into, and then have, you know, then you can let the little spontaneity of asking them about the details, and then when they say that, when they tell you that, you know, this thing has to do with this, or I got this necklace here, you can then ask them, oh, okay, you can ask them another question off of that.
Right.
Like, okay, what made you, what was it that
Yeah.
made you pick out that necklace over something else?
Well, I think
You
this
know.
we could also turn this later into another topic. If you guys are interested, comment if you are, about kind of how to get people to open up to you. You know, and it's like asking about details is a great way, because if you ask somebody some big grand question, right? Like, it's hard for them just to come up with something like, hey, what about those weird socks, or what about, like, say your sneakers are just like completely destroyed, or you have 8,000
Yes.
band pins on your backpack.
Yes.
Right? Like, that allows people to immediately have something that they can rely on. They're not having to just be like, oh, off the top of my head. It's like,
Yes.
oh, this is a tangible experience I've had, and that might lead you into a whole thing like, oh, you know, I used to be a roadie. And then, like, whoa, this crazy story opens up. But if you just
Before you
ask
know
them,
it, it's like I was naked in Brazil doing drugs.
but
And
if you don't, you know, if you don't ask that, you don't
hey, this
get
is my
anything.
wife, everyone.
You're
Hi.
supposed to be sneaking in.
Hi.
Oh, you're sneaking. There's no sneaking.
There's no sneaking.
We're just
here.
walking the dog. No big deal. This is my apartment, by the way.
Come on, Cooper, let's
come.
sit and watch them.
Yeah, let's sit down. So, anyway, I think the
Yeah.
big takeaway for this is that the details of a person are often where the best stories are. Whether that's a visual story for you, you know, I think we can't go too deep into life story territory when it's not necessary. I think for you, the fact that you're capturing those rings, it lends to a different narrative, but that narrative is still there. That narrative still matters. And
Right.
for somebody who maybe focuses on something a little more deep, a little more actual life story narrative driven, it's also important.
Yeah. It's important for everyone.
So anyway,
Life, fashion,
Photography.
life is photography.
Photography is life.
boom.
Boom. Takeaway of the day. Have a good day.
Photography is life. That was so valuable. Wow. Okay. Hey, bye guys. Thanks for watching. If you can ask us any if you want, I don't know what I'm saying. If you want to ask us any questions and ask like something that we can talk about next time around that would bring value to you, we desperately want that because we want to help you guys out. Let us know if you liked this and it brought you value. And then subscribe if you like the videos that much. We will talk to you guys later. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.